So is artificial intelligence the single greatest job creator of our time, or is it a silent killer, ready to automate millions of us right out of a career? This isn't science fiction anymore. This is probably the central economic debate happening right now. And in this explainer, we are diving straight into both sides of the argument. First up, we're going to look at the case for an automation apocalypse. Then we'll explore the flip side, the potential for a new job renaissance. After that, we'll see how these two ideas kind of smash together into what's being called the Great Job Reshuffle. And finally, we'll talk about how we can all navigate this new AI-driven future.
And really, it all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? Are we looking at a future with unprecedented prosperity for everyone, or are we staring down the barrel of a massive unemployment crisis?
The answer, well, it isn't just about new gadgets and cool tech. It's about our livelihoods, our economic stability. It's about what it even means to have a job in the 21st century. This is a huge deal. Okay, so first, let's get into the pessimistic view. This is the argument that AI, unlike any tech that's come before it, is a genuine, fundamental threat to the workforce and especially to white-collar jobs. Now, just think about where this quote is coming from. This isn't some critic or a skeptic. This is Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, one of the biggest AI labs on the entire planet. The guy who's literally building the technology is the one warning us that it could just completely wipe out the first rung on the corporate ladder for a whole generation. And, it gets even more stark. Amodei actually projects that this disruption could be so severe that it might push the U.S. unemployment rate as high as 20% by 2030. To put that in perspective, we haven't seen joblessness on that level since the Great Depression.
And this isn't just one CEO's opinion either. A survey from the World Economic Forum really shows what companies are thinking. 41% of employers are actively planning to reduce their workforce because of AI. I mean, you can't deny the financial incentive here.
This comment from a public forum just cuts right to the chase. The whole business case for pouring billions and billions of dollars into AI is a lot of the time about saving money by reducing labor costs. So when the main driver is efficiency, a lot of people argue that, the inevitable outcome is just fewer jobs. But of course, that is only one side of the coin. So let's flip it over. Let's look at the other side of this whole debate. The optimistic case that AI isn't a job killer at all, but a powerful engine for creating brand new jobs and enhancing what we humans can do. So when people ask, what new jobs could AI possibly create? Well, here you go. Prompt engineer, AI ethicist, digital twin engineer. I mean, who had even heard of these roles a few years ago? It's just like how the internet created jobs like social media manager, which would have sounded completely ridiculous back in the 80s. AI is creating totally new career paths where tech, creativity, and ethics all meet. And this isn't just some tech bubble thing. AI is creating real value all across the economy. In healthcare, it's making drug development way faster. In finance, it's sniffing out fraud. In manufacturing, it can predict when a machine is about to break down. It's really becoming an essential tool in pretty much every field you can think of. And this right here is a really critical idea from the International Organization of Employers. They argue that we shouldn't be so focused on replacement, but on augmentation. The idea is that AI acts more like a co-pilot, amplifying our skills. An analyst can suddenly process 1,000 times more data. A doctor can get an instant second opinion. In this view, AI is less of a replacement and way more of a super powerful tool. So, okay, we've looked at the two extremes, right? Apocalypse and Renaissance. The reality, as it so often is probably somewhere in the middle, and it's a lot more nuanced. It's probably not a simple story of jobs lost versus jobs gained, but a fundamental reshuffling of what work even is. So to really get this reshuffle, you have to understand this key difference. On one hand, you have automation AI, which straight up substitutes for human labor. That's the apocalypse scenario. But then you have augmentation AI, which is designed as a tool to make a human worker more productive. And the future of any one job probably depends on which type of AI hits it the hardest. So check this out.
According to the World Economic Forum, almost half of all core worker skills are going to be disrupted in just the next few years. Now, that does not mean that half of us are going to lose our jobs. What it does mean is that the actual abilities we need to do our jobs are changing, and they are changing incredibly fast. And what's really important to get is that this threat isn't spread out evenly. The most routine, predictable, analytical tasks, the kind you often find in junior-level roles, are the easiest ones to automate. And that creates this potential talent pipeline problem. I mean, if you take away the first step on the career ladder, how does anyone ever learn the skills to climb higher?
Let's just pause on this for a second because it's a really profound thought. The Industrial Revolution mechanized tasks. It gave a person a machine to do a task faster. But the AI revolution, as this person suggests, might actually mechanize the worker, the thinking, the decision-making itself. That one idea might completely reframe that whole historical comparison we lean on so often. So, if this massive reshuffle is on its way, the big question becomes, what are we going to do about it? And that brings us to the strategies that are being cooked up for individuals, for companies, and for society as a whole. For businesses, being successful with this isn't just about buying the latest software. It's about having a clear strategy. The companies that are getting it right are defining very specific goals. They're building ethical guardrails from the start. They're starting with small pilot projects. And maybe most importantly, they're investing a ton in training their current employees how to use these new tools. Now, on a bigger societal level, the whole conversation is shifting towards some pretty major policy ideas. We're hearing experts call for much stronger social safety nets to help workers who get displaced, massive public investment in lifelong learning. And there are even serious conversations around concepts like universal basic income, or UBI, to provide a basic economic floor in a world with less traditional work. And all of this leaves us with the ultimate question. If AI really does automate a huge chunk of what we currently call work, then our challenge isn't just economic. It gets philosophical. It becomes about what we, as a society, actually choose to value. Is it going to be creativity, community, taking care of each other? As AI redefines our jobs, it forces us to ask a much, much deeper question about ourselves.